you, 'cause we got what you need and more.
Welcome to Couch Time with Sonja. I am Sonja Lowe, the Embrace Coach. This episode I'm excited about. Why? Because I get to be surrounded by men giving me their point of views. So we have actually 3 guys that are going to be sitting with me today, and they're going to be telling me just a little bit about their thoughts. So women, gather around because you want to hear what they have to say. And so I want to tell you, it is welcome to spending time with the men. Welcome to Man Cave. Awesome, welcome back. I am excited today. You get to meet the guys that we have on, and I'm going to start first with this gentleman to my right, who happens to be my king. Would you introduce yourself for me?
Yes, I am Bradford Lowe.
What do you want the audience to know about you?
Well, I'm Sonja's husband. We've been married for 29 years, and it's been a blessing.
Awesome. And to my left.
Hello, my name is Mike Wilson. I am here representing on behalf of A2 Studios, my wife Tiffany Wilson, who is kind of the head honcho, and I'm just kind of the behind the scenes kind of guy. So I'm happy to be here and be a part.
I sure like the way you introduced. And
I am. So be like these guys call him this morning. I am Dr. David.
you are a nut.
What's up, world? It's your boy, comedian Grossmann. Happy to be here. We're gonna find out what's going on with us, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm excited. We get to hear really from the men and really what they think. This is our episode that we call The Man Cave. And so let's start off with the first question, guys. Of course, we know that women always want to know what men think and how you think. And so first off, what would you define as a healthy relationship? And so I'm going to start with you, Mr. Grossmann. Kind of tell us, how would you define a healthy relationship?
She know how to cook. That's pretty healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I dated a chick who couldn't cook. The kitchen stayed clean.
So cooking.
Yeah, look at this. What is that? That's a stove.
Hey, he's being real. He's being honest. So he wants a woman that can cook. That keeps a healthy relationship. How about you, Mr. Bradford Lowe?
Oh yeah, that's easy. Probably love, laughter, happiness. You know,
That's good. Healthy, love, and laughter.
communication.
That's a good point right there.
There it is. I think Brad said it. It's communication. It's understanding. It's not stepping into a place of judgment.
Oh, that's good, Mike.
So I think those are really kind of the key ingredients for me, I would say at least.
Man, I think that's awesome because, of course, which means it's a well-rounded woman. So what I've heard from, Terry, I hear from Mike, I hear from Brad, is a well-rounded woman, not putting yourself in a box and only being one type of way. And so I love that. So if you have a healthy relationship, some of my women ask, how do you handle when you're in a healthy relationship and women that are on the outside looking in are male bashing or they don't show respect? So you have a healthy relationship where you are, but there's the friends of your healthy relationship that are on the outside, those women that are bashing men, that have negative views of men because maybe they didn't have a healthy relationship, which I just gather from each one of you that healthy relationships really mean a balanced woman. Would you agree?
Right.
So it's a well-rounded woman, not someone who just stays in a box and is only one type of way. Well, with you having a healthy relationship, we also know that in those relationships we have outside people. Would you agree? That are looking in at your relationship. So when you have people that are on the outside, let's say because you're all men, you are dating this woman or you're married to this woman and she has outside friends who don't really understand what a healthy relationship is because they've never had a healthy relationship with a male. So how do you handle the male bashing and the disrespect on the outside?
Well, maybe she don't want her other friend to be in a relationship because maybe she don't have nobody else to go out with. Like, hey, all this about to end. I don't want you to. I still want you to go out with me. I'm a man back out. He ain't no good. Don't mess with him. He might be the right one.
Right.
And your friend messed that up.
Right.
You been out like before you got married. Let's say, and you seen this guy you talked to, and she step in, and just like, oh girl, come with me. Like, hold on, no.
And how do you handle that? How would you address it with a friend? How would you address it?
Because then you're gonna take her side.
Well, I want to hear from you two. What do you think? See, that's a good point.
Take her side. I ain't follow you.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's a solid point. I mean, for me, the bashing is going to happen. It's inevitable. And, what I try to paint, at least in my home, is that, number one, I'm not the perfect guy. I am flawed in many ways.
That's a good point right there.
But at the same time, I'm open to the communication with my wife about what her friends are saying. Rather than letting it fester upstairs and her developing her secret opinions as to what she thinks I might be doing or thinking about, I'd rather talk about it face on and just have the open conversation and reassure her that I'm not the dudes that they're talking about.
That's
You
good.
got a different, unique kind of guy. Not to say that I haven't been in that spot before, but you got a unique, different kind of guy, and you don't have to worry about what they're saying being your issue.
That's good.
And so that's the way that I look at it. Face it head on and talk about it, so that you can eliminate. Well, we try to keep it happy, bro. At times,
Oh, yeah.
it can turn into a little rocky bout, but at the end of the day, man, as long as we're talking about the issues that's top of mind, to me, that's key.
That's good. That's good points, guys. How about you, Brad?
Well, I can base my experience on my time with you, 29 years of marriage. You're going to always have some outside noise, but you know me better than anybody. And so I would hope that you would defend our relationship. I've been in the company of men bashing their wives, and then after bashing their wives, they ask me what's my opinion.
Right.
My opinion is not yours.
Right.
And so I would always discuss the great things about being married, the great things about having a healthy relationship, because I haven't experienced that downside with you. Marriage is a work program.
Oh, yes.
It's a lot of work.
Oh, yes.
After the
Yes,
wedding,
it is.
After the wedding, spending all the money on the wedding, the celebration, that's a good thing. But after that, then comes the work.
Yeah.
That's right.
And so then you cultivate your relationship. So I've been in situations where there's been men bashing their wives. On the other hand, I know you may hear what people's perception is of being married and men. Well, you can't put every man in the same category.
That's good. That's
'cause
good.
we all are individuals. We
That's
all
good.
have our own flaws. You have to love me unconditionally. I have to love you unconditionally.
That's right.
Guys, this is great points because you see 3 different men that are sitting here. And of course, Terry's single. And then we have, say that again.
One is married.
Look, we got Terry who's single. And then we also have Mike and Brad who's married. So you different points, different views, and I'm loving it because it always comes from a different standpoint. But also, I have another question for you. Women have menopause issues, right? And oh my gosh, women kind of go through menopause, which means, of course, they may deal with what we call that time of the month where they're really catty and have issues. But is it true that men have those moments as well?
Never heard of it.
I have.
Never heard of it? You have?
I have. Men have menopause.
Really?
Yeah. I heard of it.
And do you have moments where you're just
You
catty?
You act like I don't have it.
No.
See, that's what I'm saying. See,
Right. I ain't started sweating yet in the winter.
Well, not
What's
really.
out here?
Not really
Breathe.
You're so silly. Not really the symptoms of the menopause, but just do you have moments where you're irritable? Do men walk through those moments where you're irritable and you just don't feel like being bothered? Women have cycles. Women have menopause. Well, do men have those same things? They just don't call it issues.
It's called Sunday football.
Really? Really?
Leave me alone.
Right.
Mike say right.
One day a week. Sunday football. I don't need it. Yeah, I'm good. No.
There's a lot of pressures
Yeah.
on men.
Right.
You know, men when men leave home every day and go to work, there's a lot of pressure on him, on his job, and so women don't necessarily know what men have to put up with in order to bring that check home. And sometimes going to work, you know, their supervisor or boss may make them feel less than a man sometimes.
That's a good
You
point.
know how they communicate to them, and so the stress of that, the stress of producing at work, you know, and then come home and you got the weight of all that going on.
Right.
So yeah, sometimes you're gonna be a little moody or off balance, with your personality because you're thinking about that deadline or whatever.
Right.
You know.
That's a good
I
point.
mean, that's right. I mean, it's dead on with Sunday football.
Yes,
with
and that's true
work,
too.
and then on top of all that, you have the pressure of making sure that you're giving time and attention to your spouse if you're married, or to your significant other, to your children if you have them, to your parents, to your relatives. I mean, there's so much that as a man you're trying to make sure that you're balancing, and sometimes when that thing is not balancing the right way, you can become irritable. And so for women, in many cases, it may be more hormonal, but for guys, it's not that. It's just that I feel like something is out of place, and you get irritable in that respect. So you're right. It's work. It's personal. It's are my pats playing the right way?
Yeah.
Right.
It's everything, quite honestly, that can cause a man to kind of get edgy at times.
That's good. That's just great points. And thank you guys for just your honesty and your transparency. But we have so much more to talk about, guys. And I can't wait to get to the next part. We'll be right back.
Here at T&D Tax Service LLC, we offer a full service of business from tax preparation, tax planning, business bookkeeping, business coaching, company setup, payroll, and money management, along with credit restoration. We are highly trained with proven ability to communicate well with diverse groups, individuals, corporations, and small businesses. We will get the job done. Contact us today at 281-856-6568, or we can also be reached at any social media. If you're starting a business, we can help you get the job done. At T&D Tax Service, our motto is, when you start off right, you end up right.
If you would like to be a guest or advertise your business on Couch Time with Sonja, I would love to hear from you. Email me. Visit couchtimewithsonya.com. Welcome back. Man, if you would have been here during this commercial break, you would have heard the behind-the-scenes conversation with these crazy men we're talking to on set today. But I'm having so much fun. They're so open, they're so honest, they're being transparent, and this is really what we need in the world today. We need open, honest communication from men and women. And so today we're offering really, what do men think from a single man's point of view and from a married man's point of view? And so I have a particular question I want to ask guys, and it is there such a thing as effective listening from men? The reason I'm saying that is because as women, we love to talk. We do. We want to talk about things. But is it really true that men are listening? What's your answer to that?
What you say?
See? That's what I'm talking about right there. Is it really
I'm
true
just
that men
joking.
are
I'm just joking.
listening?
What you say?
I'm guilty of not listening sometimes. And because I know you've told me a few times in our relationship that you're not listening to me. I'm talking to you. True. Well, if I'm watching, the Cowboys on TV, I may be more interested in that than what you're saying sometimes, and sometimes I tune you out, but yeah, we should turn the TVs off, put the phones down, and we should listen more.
On Sunday?
It's always at that time,
One game on Thursday with all of them on Sunday.
I know.
But that is true.
We
That is very
should
true.
listen more. Not saying we do all the time, but if you came to me and seriously you had something seriously you needed to talk about, then I would have to tune everything off and listen to what you have to say.
Good point.
Yeah. I think it should be a time, though, a time of the week. You know, I know women. I don't know why y'all do this, but you know, I don't know what it is about this Sunday that y'all do like coming in there messing with us. I mean, we got 6 days that we give y'all. I just need this one day. That's it.
Right.
I mean, I'm sitting there. I got everything ready. I'm good, chilling. I know y'all church people, but look, I'm gonna have my drink. I'm gonna have my cigar. I'm ready. I'm watching. And you come walking through there like that. I was like, oh man, and I'm not listening.
Right.
I'm not.
Right.
And then another thing, when we're going up to relationships, make it bad because these cell phones are really hurting the relationships.
It is.
Because just think, you out with someone, they're on the phone.
Yes.
Then you might get on your phone, and no one is talking.
Yes. You're very,
I've
very
been
right
on
about that.
relationships, not relationships, but on dates like that.
Right.
Well, we both on the phone. It's like no one's talking. So
Right.
it's like, man, it's the phones that's really messing relationships up.
So listening really, I think, goes
Listening.
both ways.
Yeah,
But
both
as
ways.
women,
Absolutely.
we need to pick the right timing too.
Yeah.
And I'm guilty as a woman.
Not
that-
just before you go to bed, y'all want to talk.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
I like that. That's nice.
but really, there should be a zone in the house where there's no cell phones, namely the bedroom.
Right.
There should
right.
be any phones in the bedroom. You know, we're guilty of that.
Yes,
you
we
know,
are.
we're in bed sometimes. You on your phone, I'm on my phone. There should be a no cell phone zone in the bedroom, and that's where you probably should have most of those conversations.
That's right.
That's a
We
good
both
point.
have each other's attention.
And I think it's a lot of cheating going on. And it's not meaning with another woman or another man. I kind of call it's a lot of cheating going on with cell phones, with TVs, with jobs, with hobbies. You know, men and women are cheating because that takes more time and attention than your significant other is
Absolutely.
getting, you know? So to have effective listening, I think kind of goes both ways. Yes, men have effective listening, but I think it's selective effective listening.
Right, that's right.
It's the timing. And if we as women, and I'm speaking for us women, we also need to make sure that we're doing it at the right timing. If it is football, and then we know that that's our spouse or our gentleman we're dating, we know that they are sports fanatics, then why is it that we're even trying to talk to them during the game?
Yeah.
You know, we have to realize that as women, our timing. Because I think to me, I know that if he's watching a game and it is his favorite team on, that if I'm choosing to talk about something serious, he is not listening to me. So it's me, I think, choosing the right time. So I think that as our listeners, I'm hoping that you're gathering, they have selective, effective listening.
Oh, yeah.
But timing, I'm hearing from all of them, timing really does matter. And sometimes praying about when is important.
Absolutely.
So.
I think, you know, the only other piece that I would add to the whole effective listening thing is, as men, I know I speak for myself, is that, you know, I'm naturally solution focused. So I'm naturally going to want to fix what I hear. And so the problem comes into play when my lady says such and such, and I'm listening, but I'm only listening in search for a solution.
That's good right there.
So I'm not listening to understand her emotion or anything like that behind it. I'm just trying to fix it.
Right.
When she says, I don't really want you to fix it, I just want you to understand and listen to how I feel. And that's the struggle that I have oftentimes, because my mindset is so much that it's just, all right, well, let's find a solution.
Right.
And we'll put it behind us.
That's good.
And I don't think that's what she's really looking for at that time.
Most of the time that we're, as women, we're not. We're just wanting you to listen to us
Right.
and say, I understand.
Right.
You know, and that's it.
Right.
You know?
I like the short version, Mike. Get to the point.
Get to it, yeah, I mean-
let's get to the point. What you're trying to say, and you know.
I mean, you know, the
But that's so
fastest
frustrating
point, the
sometimes.
fastest point from point A to point B is a straight line. You know,
Look,
and I also often say, you know, let's not circle the runway.
Yeah.
Let's just land the plane.
Yeah.
You know, so tell me what the issue is, and we solve it. But that's not necessarily what women always think, unfortunately.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Well, one thing in particular, you have two different personalities. You have two different love languages. You have two, you know, in men and women. So realizing your significant other's love language, it may be that she wants time and attention because that's what allows her to know she feels loved.
Yeah.
And then, of course, yours might be quality time. You know, so maybe our gifts, acts of service, you know, so I think it's on both sides. We have to find out what's the love language of our significant other so that we can, you know, make sure it gels together.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, but this one, I know, ladies, this one, I know this one, because this one is one I deal with too, is when you ask your significant other, am I getting larger? Do you think I'm gaining weight? And we ask this question, ladies, and then what do our men do? And how do you feel about that particular question?
Yes. How about a burrito?
So how do you address that, Terry?
Address it the way she answered it. I mean, the way her questions came towards you. It's like, hey, am I getting fat? I was like, well, yeah, I mean, your shoulders look kind of swollen.
So you would just come out and tell her yes?
I'll come out and tell you, yeah.
Okay, so let's put a pin
I mean,
there.
like-
Mike, well, no, let's put a pin there. Mike, how about you?
You know, I'm a direct guy, and so I also can be very diplomatic just in the nature of what I do. So I may not come out with the direct yes, but I'll probably dance around that yes a little bit, and kind of allude to it, but also
called marriage.
not make her. It's called marriage, but not make her.
You are
But not
so
make
right.
her feel like she's less than in that moment. You know.
Right.
So you got to kind of. It's a dog and pony kind of show.
Yeah,
you
I
know,
agree with that.
In answering that.
How about you?
Do I have to answer that?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you do.
Well, no, you kind of critical of yourself. You know,
At times.
we've discussed that a few times. And so, you know, I'm honest enough to tell you, you know, you're not as small as you used to be, but I always use myself as an example too. You know, try to make you feel better. I always say, look, I'm not the guy I used to be either, you know, and so let's call A2, A2 and let's go to work, you know. So,
Right.
Well, most of the time, women, we really know the answer already. When we ask you, we really know. We're feeling a certain type of way. So when we ask that question, most of the time we really already know the answer to it. And so to encourage your communication,
Oh, you just trying to start arguing.
no, not trying to start an argument, but to encourage the communication is most of the time women, we already know the answer. A better way to approach that than just saying yes is at that particular time, let them know how much you really love them just the way they are. You know, I love you
Well, don't I
just the
do
way
that?
you are. Yes, you
yeah,
do.
I mean,
you
I
do.
tell you, it's no big deal to me.
You do. But also, she's wanting, she might not say she wants a solution, but she's wanting a solution and she's wanting help, is really what she's saying. And so a better way to even address that would be at a later time when she's not thinking about it. Circle back to that and say, hey, you know what? Let's go work out today. Let's go to A2.
Wouldn't that be
Today.
Wouldn't that be telling a lie?
That's not telling a lie.
All right.
Oh, you're saying because if she is
Yeah.
gaining weight,
You saying,
you really don't
I
like
love
her
you
like
just
that
the way you are. Okay, you leave the house, you come back, there's dominoes on the table. I ain't talking about playing dominoes either. I'm talking about pepperoni with
Right.
mushrooms and
Right,
2-liter Coke.
right. I see what
She's
you're
sitting
saying.
there, yeah, she's sitting there like, you want some? All right.
Well, you know what? I do tell her based on what she's eating compared to
Yes.
how she's feeling about
But
herself.
That is very
So I
true.
do call her on that, you know.
I'm not saying be rude about it.
Right.
I'm saying
No.
like, yeah, you gain some weight. Cause if you know you gain weight, then why ask me? If you wanted to argue about something, then we can do that. I mean, if that's what you want. I mean, but
See
don't
the difference
start
between
with,
a single
don't start
man
off with,
and a man and our married
am I
men.
gaining weight?
Yeah.
Cause I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah, I think it's also about, you know, are you
Nice.
being careless?
That's
With
good.
the dominoes, you know, if you have
That's good.
multiple domino boxes
Yeah.
sitting up there,
That's good.
you know, it's like, are you being careless?
That's
Well,
good.
you already know what the problem is.
That's
And
good.
so I think that requires a little bit more direct answer
Right.
versus any other external factors that, you know, she might be dealing with, maybe an issue in the family or an issue at work that's contributing to how she might be dealing with maybe some emotional eating, stress. You know, those are other external factors that I think you have to address in a different kind of way. But if it's blatant, bro,
I know. I ain't saying it.
Man. I'm just.
But look, you say it like it's stress. Okay, just say if it's stress. If it's stress, you gave me be like, yo, you stressing? What's wrong? You ask then, oh, you okay?
Well, I'm gonna say
You
this right here. I think we can have a whole entire other show just on this topic. But you know what? There's so much more to this conversation. So much more that we're gonna have to go to a commercial. And guess what? You'll have to catch us this week on our social media pages because this conversation will continue. So make sure that you continue. Come back to Couch Time with Sonja and check out more issues and questions and answers from our men in the man cave. We'll be right back.
Today's episode, part 1 of The Man Cave, was just so awesome. I am so grateful for all of our guests. All 3 guys were just so open and honest. They were authentic, they were real, they were exposed with their answers, but it was so good. I think we should continue. So what we want you to do? Follow us on all of our social media outlets. Go to Couch Time with Sonja, and that's Sonja with a J, and follow us. Find us on Facebook, find us on Instagram, so that you can follow, because we're going to continue this conversation. So make sure you go. If you want to know anything about me, please make sure you go to Couch Time with Sonja, and that's SonjaWithAJ.com. See you next time.
I'm ready.